Hi, I'm Rabbi Baruch Levy, also known as Rabbi B. Welcome to Soul Centered. Soul Centered is a center for spirituality, meaning, and healing. And I want to share just a little bit over the next few minutes, more in depth. I have another video. This one's a little more in depth about my counseling and coaching program, who I am, where it comes from, where I come from, and how we might work together. So for about 20 years, I've been a rabbi. Rabbi means teacher and guide. Building a few congregations throughout the country in Los Angeles, Des Moines, Iowa, and Swampscott, right outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Always inclusive and welcoming, spiritual in orientation, attracting people from all religions or atheists, spiritual seekers, no religion. It's never mattered to me. In fact, I consider myself a spiritual mutt, if you will. I've drawn best practice from Buddhism, where I've spent a lot of time hanging out, and meditation, and Hinduism, an avid practitioner, passionate about yoga, wherever, whenever. For me, it's always been about guiding people. Having lost my father to suicide and my grandmother to suicide, especially midlife and onwards, when I saw them fall apart and come crumbling down, I've always been passionate about guiding people, especially around that time frame, and I'll tell you more about that. So I went back to school years ago and got a doctoral degree in counseling. And more recently, I've been studying logotherapy. Logotherapy is the child of Dr. Viktor Frankl. Dr. Frankl is the author of Man's Search for Meaning and creator of logotherapy. Logo means meaning, so it's meaning-centered counseling. And it's really a way to live our lives as much as to counsel and be counseled, that at the center of our lives, if we have meaning and purpose, we can navigate anything. Or in the words of Friedrich Nietzsche, she who has a big enough why can endure anyhow. And that has been my experience personally, but also professionally, guiding thousands of people through what I call life's T's. Transitions, tests, trials, traumas, tragedies. What we need at the center of each of those is meaning, is purpose. And I work with people on finding that meaning and that purpose in loss, certainly at any point in life, but also life in general and legacies. I say loss, life, and legacy, and especially, particularly around my passion and now I believe area of expertise, having entered it and guiding people through it. And that's the afternoon of life, coming from Carl Jung and Jungian psychology. There's the morning of life and there's the afternoon of life. And you just can't live the same way in each phase. They each have their place and their purpose. The goal is to know which one you're in and how to live in it. And I find the afternoon of life, midlife onwards through sunset years and into the evening, guiding people through this process, finding new goals, creating new rules, exploring new tools to live differently. And I love this area of life because there is an opening in it that there just isn't in the morning. You know, I think of Dr. Jung and his saying that life begins at 40 and everything up until then is just research. Life begins at 40 or thereabouts. It's not a hard rule, of course, but the afternoon of life, because we are not only challenged, we're shattered. Kabbalah talks about shatterings, and you can't get through, you can get to the new and midlife without a shattering, but you can't get through the afternoon of life without shatterings, and many of them. And they're endings in so many ways, but they're also beginnings, opportunities. Out of the shatterings, we are in many ways reborn, born for the first time. And I guide people through those shatterings and losses, but also people proactively seeking out meaning and purpose and inspiration differently in the afternoon of life. People who have money but not meaning, or profession but not purpose, or comforts but not the consciousness that they know is waiting for them, calling to them from within, from without, from beyond. And so we work together to create those new goals and new rules and new tools so that we can live not only differently, but the best phase of our life and the best version of ourselves, making the shift from self-centered to soul-centered. I work with clients one-on-one or in group settings through this process, counseling and coaching to make sure it's practical, it's hopeful, realistic, guiding, and empowering, most of all, to empower you to live your passion, your purpose, your meaning, and your inspiration, and to leave a legacy, and to live your legacy. Design it while you're here, and live it while you're here, and leave it. And long after you are gone, it will inspire your children, your children's children for generations to come. I would love to hear from you, to get to know you, and to work with you. You can get a hold of me at rabbib@mysoulcenter.org. Until then, take care. Shalom, salam, namaste, and peace.